There, while our reactors are taking their seats in front, may I introduce them? Our first reactor is Ambassador Benedicto Yujuico. He is the chairman of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry and an immediate past president of several confederations, including the Confederation of Asia-Pacific Chambers of Commerce and Industry, an advisory board member of that organization as well. He was also a past chairman for the Center for Economic Reform and Center for Reform and Development Incorporated, a chairman for Center for Trade and Technology, chairman Istana Social Development Foundation, and chairman Philippine Business Conference and Expo 2015. Ambassador Yujuico holds a master's degree in business administration from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. Our other speaker is from government, and she is Maria Lourdes Saptinchay, and she is the director of the Sector Planning Bureau of the Department of Trade and Industry. We have another speaker another reactor whom we will wait in a while, and our other speaker is Mr. Aaron Veloso, who is the acting cabinet secretary, and I'll introduce him when he arrives. Thank you very much. So maybe you can call on cabinet secretary of yung Malacanang. Office of secretary to the cabinet. Yeah. Office of the cabinet secretary. Alright. So he's the CABSEC. He's the acting CABSEC because Secretary Evasco is out of the country. So we're also expecting him in a while. At least he also, I think, he has experienced the traffic, so everybody, it's really, medyo, di ba? Equal, it's not an equalizer because some can arrive faster than the others, and some can arrive more comfortably, even if it's traffic, kasi may aircon naman at pwede pa sila mag-Pokemon Go while in traffic, while the others, mainit, di ba? Mainit, polluted, pwede pang ma-pickpocket and all. So, hindi pa rin siya equalizer yung traffic na yun. Anyway, so may we call on Ambassador Yujuico to give his reaction. Let's maybe hear from, so can we give him a big hand? Thank you.
When I was invited here, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. When I was invited here, I thought questions would be asked, but now I'm asked to comment on a very broad subject, which I will try to focus on just very specific things so I can tell you something specific as well. We in business are quite concerned about a lot of the topics that you discussed here this afternoon. In addition to what you have mentioned, I'd like to say that on an international level, we are very concerned about the populism that seems to be arising in the world economies today. You have seen the Brexit. People hardly expected that England will vote to exit. You've seen the elections here in the Philippines, the populism that propelled Mayor Duterte to now president. And in fact, our main concern as well is the election in the United States, where my former classmate at Wharton, Donald Trump, might be elected president against Hillary Clinton. But that's another story. But I'm sure you will find it interesting if I told you about how he was in college compared to how he was today. In any case, we talked about industrial policy here. Industrial policy that will actually guide our country to the next level. And we My family has come from an industry that started in the 1950s. This was the textile industry. And the government at that time encouraged the textile industry to actually integrate, they call. So that means a lot of the companies started in the first phase, which is you import the cotton, you spin it. By the way, how many minutes do I have? 10. Could you please give me 2-minute warning? So you import the yarn, you spin it. So that was the first phase. So it was an import substitution. Instead of importing the yarn, okay, we were making the yarn. And then the government said, oh, we'll give you the money. You go to the next stage, which is to weave the yarn into fabric. And then the following stage was, government said, we'll give you more money if you go to the finishing part, which is to dye the fabric, print on the fabric, finish the fabric, and sell it in Divisoria. And after doing that, we went also to the next stage on the back side of it. Let me see. You're all very young. You probably don't remember a company called Philippine Synthetic. Philsin. Philsin would make the synthetic fiber called polyester. So it would make fiber and filament, which would fit into the textile industry. Well, all of that didn't work. Over a period of 40 years, Philsin is closed. All the textile industries, where are they? Wala. All the hundreds of thousands of employees, where are they now? Wala. And this is an example of a failed industrial policy that was implemented, whether knowingly or unwittingly, by the government. And unless we actually study very carefully industrial policy going forward, we are going to commit the same mistake. I stood at the back earlier because it was very cold where I was seated. No? But I could still see the presentation. I could still hear about our copper industry here, where we in fact ship out the raw materials and import what we need. That's really crazy. Where we heard that in agriculture, we see a very steady decline of agriculture as a percent of total value produced. No? So, again, industrial policy, agricultural policy, and all of these things are our concerns going forward. And at the PCCI, we are addressing all of these things, including very interesting things like the wage policies that are going to be implemented soon, and so on and so forth. So there are, in fact, a number of things that are going on now these are affecting the economic programs, they're affecting where we are, so on and so forth. Now, this Friday, we are supposed to be flying to Davao and to discuss a number of things with our president. And we have a joke there when I better not say this. Because I might not be welcome in Davao if I tell you this joke. I hope I am not misunderstood. But in any case, we have a very strong-minded president, and we believe in a lot of the things that he's saying. We believe in a number of things that he has done. Although he once asked, anong inyong advice sa akin? And I looked around the table to see who was brave enough to open his mouth. So, I actually joke. Oh, kala ko ba, ang tagapang niyo, ang dami niyong sinasabi sa labas. Ngayon, nandito na, lahat naging pipe. I think that general concern is that we, after the meeting, lumabas na yung mga comments. Sana mas nakikinig yung presidente. Sabi ko, sana meron kayong sinasabi na papakinggan ni Presidente. Wala naman kayong sinabi, so anong papakinggan? So, again, I'm just saying that leadership here is very, very important. No? Kung ano man yung diniscuss natin or whatever will be discussed this afternoon, it's all good. Kung yung Presidente will listen. But if the President doesn't think it's good or he doesn't listen, then that's a different story. So our job is, and I want to thank the Advocacy for Economic Reform. Our job is really to present what we think is good for the country, which I think you did very well here. It's up to the President and the ministers and the secretaries to primarily, if economic policy, business, it's Sunny Dominguez, who I have to tell you is, sabi ko sa kanya, Sunny, it's a great sacrifice that you are doing. Those of you who know him well, you know that he has a really, really nice life, you know. He's hunting and he's going to vacate before he accepted the position of secretary. Now as Secretary of Finance, he could hardly breathe. No? But he's a good man. We believe in him. We believe in his proposed tax policies. We will definitely support him. So I hope this is a useful reaction. At least you hearing the overall sentiment of business. Thank you.